everybody. Happy Tuesday afternoon. It's Nicky Steez here. Welcome to episode 16 of Sports Talk from the Heart. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe to both the Hardcore Sports Network and Nicky Steez channel. I'll drop the links to those in the comments. And then after that, we're going to get started with this thing. So this week, it's going to be a little bit different because this week, we're going to start off. We're going to recap the preview because normally I come on here, I recap the Eagles first, and I quickly run through the rest of the games. I'm going to do it the opposite way this week. So we're going to start off talking about the other games in the NFL first, give my quick thoughts on them. Then I'm going to talk more about the Eagles-Bucks. Then we're going to close this thing out. We're going to talk about college football a little bit, give a mini Week 4 preview. So there's a link to the Hardcore Sports Network, the link to my channel, and we're going to get this thing started. So let's start talking about the Week 3 matchups. So we started off Thursday night. We started off the Week 3 games with, who was it again? Thursday night? Oh, the Giants and 49ers. We start off that 49ers magic number is 30 because they've scored 30 points in all 3 games. They did so again on Thursday night against the Giants. And so that clearly that Giants team looked like crap. Daniel Jones looked like Daniel Jones, and clearly with no running game to rely on, they couldn't do crap. Matt Breida only got 4 carries for about 16 yards. Now we know why Breida's bounced from team to team. And clearly there was nothing going for them. Nothing. Easy win for the 49ers. Move on to 3-0. One of 3 teams still undefeated along with my Eagles and the Miami Dolphins, which we'll get to in a minute. We know Brock Purdy did what he had to do. Deebo Samuel had a nice game. Clearly the best game of the receivers. And Christian McCaffrey had a solid game on the ground. Niners defense, Fred Warner led the pack there with the most tackles. And just Niners did what they were supposed to do. And then we move on to the Sunday games. Lions and Falcons. Let's put it simple. The Lions made the Falcons come crashing down to reality. Sure, you had a 2-0 start. Beat the Panthers. Beat the Packers, who were unsure of at the moment. But, hey, the Lions did what they needed to do. They bounced back from that loss to Seattle, got the taste out of their mouth, got the win that they needed to. So nice for the Lions and for the Falcons, and they're coming crashing back down. But so same goes with the Saints and the Bucks as well. And speaking of the Saints, we got the Saints and Packers, which was an interesting one. Now, the Saints started off this game hot. They were up 17-0. And then there was a Derek Carr injury, which this might be a week-to-week thing now with him. He had to leave the game. Winston came in. Winston did statistically decent, but they couldn't move the ball in the second half. And for the Packers, hey, got to give them props for getting the win. Sure, it's against the Saints, but here's the thing, though, to be fair. The Packers were down several key guys. No Jair Alexander. That's why he helped their defense. They were playing the Saints. But you know Jair Alexander, no Aaron Jones. They're missing their left tackle, and yet they still, or their right tackle, missing one of their offensive linemen, and they still found a way to win. Sure, it's against the Saints, but hey, comeback win's a comeback win. Packers are 2-1. And considering how the Vikings have been looking this year and how crappy the Bears are, that might help them out. But so far for the Packers, it's all right so far. But they got the win what they needed to, and good for them. Also on the Sunday, we got, speaking of the Vikings, we're going to segue the Chargers and Vikings. So now it's 3 weeks. Vikings have lost a couple close games. Because you guys remember last year, the Vikings were winning a lot of close games. That helped them push into the playoffs. But now, this year, a lot of those close games that they were winning last year, they're losing this year. Now they fall into 0-3 to start the season. And Kirk Cousins, he's looking washed this year. They're committing turnovers on a regular. You had 2 in this game against the Chargers, including the interception late, which helped save the Chargers game. It was so funny seeing that. You're like, oh, here we go again. Chargers going to Chargers. They had the lead, but they're going to blow it again. But lucky for them, they're playing against another cursed team in the Vikings, and Captain Kirk worked his cursed magic and threw a pick. Chargers come out there with the win. But at the same time, if you're looking at it from the Chargers standpoint, for the defense, Brandon Staley is the worst thing for that defense right there. Having him as head coach, supposed defensive mastermind, but you clearly see a consistent factor is he doesn't know how to manage the defense. And not to mention, on the offense side of the ball, they lost Mike Williams for the season. So they lost one of their go-to weapons there. So even for the Chargers, even in a win, they took an L, losing one of their top offensive weapons for the season. And their defense leaves a lot to be desired, let's just say. And sure, they managed to get the pick late in the game and save it for them, which good for them, but also comes with the benefit of playing the Vikings too. Remember how they looked against the Dolphins and the Titans of all teams? I mean, sure, just if you're the Chargers, you can consider yourselves lucky. So even for though they won, they still kind of lost at the same time. There's still not a lot of confidence in them. They lost one of their best offensive weapons. That's kind of a lose-lose for both teams. But then you also got other Sunday game. So you also got Washington and Buffalo. Buffalo destroyed them. Absolute domination by the Buffalo Bills. They went out there and they took care of business. Well, that's what we would have expected going into the season. So we got that game right there. And you know what, Washington, welcome back to reality. Sam Howell, he looked raw. He looked like a first-year starter this year. He threw multiple picks. I mean, what was it, 4-turnover game? I mean, it was just terrible. But hey, the Buffalo Bills did what was expected. So props to them on doing what they needed to do. They put that week 1 cluster behind them, and they moved forward with 2 straight wins. We also got the Browns and Titans. Well, Titans, they came crashing back down to reality. And for the Titans, it started off this week. Well, last week they got the win against the Chargers, but they're playing against a team with a suspect defense, let's just say. And they managed to outscore them. Now they come back down. They have to play against the real defense in the Browns. And yeah, they only got 3 points out of it. Tannehill looked like Ryan Tannehill. Derrick Henry couldn't save this team. I mean, it's just, yep. I mean, congrats to the Browns. They are 2-1, and they got a solid team around them. Now, on the offense side of the ball, Watson looked decent out there. But then again, it is against the Titans. So, but hey, if you're the Browns, I guess you just got to be happy you got decent play out of Watson for a game. Even if it was against the Titans, if you're the Browns, you're like, hey, we'll take it. We'll take that win, build some momentum into next week. So for the Browns, good for them, especially for their fans. They're happy for their fans that they're winning some games, that they have potential because they've been bad for so long, but not happy about who their quarterback is. Now, as far as the Dolphins and Broncos, oh, yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I'm definitely going to talk about this one, folks. The Miami Dolphins and Denver Broncos. Dude, what can we say about this game other than annihilation, embarrassment, statement win? Statement loss that says a lot about a team. A win that could be a confidence setter. A loss that makes you wonder about the future of that team. I mean, there's so many adjectives you could use either to talk about from the Dolphins' perspective or the Broncos' perspective. Let's just say this. For the Dolphins, hey, just be happy. Be happy with the win. Be happy with the 3-0 start. As long as your main guys stay healthy on offense, especially Tua, that's a key for them this year. Because I even said in my YouTube short I did yesterday, I recorded, the key for the Dolphins is to stay healthy, especially at quarterback. Because remember last year, they started off the season hot. They looked like they had a shot at winning the AFC East, but then it all started to fall apart due to injuries, particularly when Tua got hurt and they had then Bridgewater and they had to rely on Skylar Thompson. They got lucky to sneak into the playoffs and damn near collapsed and missed it. So I do think that when health contenders, that's what I think personally. So I'm thinking that, hey, if the Dolphins stay healthy, they can be contenders. That's what I'm thinking right there. But on the same time, with the Broncos, yeah, Sean Payton's not looking too good there. And the way he's leading that team right there, talking to Russell Wilson, you're not a politician, you're a QB. Stop kissing babies, all that. Not looking good right there. And that team you're putting together, Sean Payton, you're not producing any results at all. You're not. So far, you're 0-3. And in your toughest game on that schedule so far, you got annihilated. Oh, and not to mention your easiest game on the schedule this far against the Raiders week 1. You lost. Narrowly, but you still lost. It's not looking good over there. Not looking good. Now for the Chargers and Viking, I already talked about that. Let's see. Jaguars and Texans. I mean, CJ Stroud actually had himself a pretty good game. Now, here's my question. Does this say something about the Jaguars falling off a bit? Does this say something about the Doug Peterson waiting till late in the season to coach his best? Or does this say that CJ Stroud showing some strides in improvement? Now, for Houston's standpoint, this is good because CJ Stroud had a pretty solid performance out there. It's what you're looking for out of a rookie quarterback that continues to improve. And who knows, maybe as the season goes along, you start winning more games. CJ Stroud picks up momentum, and maybe it's enough to win him Rookie of the Year. Who knows? Who knows? But, hey, for Houston, congratulations. You got your win. For Jacksonville, dude, what was that? Is this going to be a thing? Is this a reoccurring script with Doug Peterson where they start off the season with ugly losses, then start to rally late? It happened last year, his first year in Jacksonville. We know as Eagles fans, that was a script that happened with Doug Peterson. First 2 seasons after the Super Bowl win. Just got to wonder, though, for Jacksonville, is the Doug Peterson script from the Eagles translating over there as well or transferring over? But, hey, in the meantime, hey, Houston got the win now. All 4 teams in the AFC South are tied for first with 1. Or actually, no, excuse me. No, Colts actually are 2-1. I forgot. Oh, yeah, they did beat Houston last week. And speaking of the Colts, though, yeah, now the Colts are in sole possession of first place. They beat the Ravens, got the upset 22-19 behind Gardner Minshew as their quarterback. So they got the win behind Minshew as their QB. It was a nice win right there. I mean, it was, I don't know, a nice one, but it was good for the Colts. They at least got the 2-1 in their division. They got some momentum headed into week 4, and he did it without Anthony Richardson. But to be fair, though, they were playing a Ravens team that had some injuries as well. So that plays a factor. And he also had a rare missed field goal by Justin Tucker that affected the outcome of the game. But look, I'm not going to solely blame it on Justin Tucker because you can never really blame one loss solely on a kicker because, yeah, you look at an entire game from start to finish. There are several mistakes made throughout the game by a team that you can point to in close losses beside the kicker. Now, sometimes the kicker is the easy cop-out, but if you look at the game from start to finish, you can point to several different mistakes you made. Now, for the Ravens, they did struggle to move the ball a little bit in this one. And for the Indianapolis, hey, you got the W, you got the upset. Congratulations, move on. Now, Seattle, Carolina, Seahawks got the win. Seahawks looked like they bounced back from that week 1 loss to the Rams. I mean, maybe that was just a fluke. You underestimated them. And Geno Smith, he looks like he's still continuing where he left off last year. Maybe that week 1 performance was maybe that was rust. Maybe that's all it was. Maybe they took the Rams lightly and they learned from that mistake and they adjusted their game plans in week 2 and week 3. I mean, I don't know what it is, but hey, Seahawks got past that. They're 2-1. They beat the Panthers as expected. Now the Panthers are 0-3. We didn't expect much from this team, but yep, not looking good for them. And you wonder what Bryce Young's going to be back soon. I mean, but hey, good for the Seahawks. They got the win, did their thing. Now, Kansas City and Chicago Bears. Kansas City did what was expected. We all know the mainstream hype was behind them because Taylor Swift was in the house with her man, Travis Kelce, or to support her man, Travis Kelce, sitting next to Mrs. Kelce in the booth watching. Travis Kelce got his touchdown. He's got his increased IG followers from all the Swifties, all the Swiftie fangirls. But you know what? Hey, I don't even care about that, honestly. They're 2 grown adults. If they want to date each other, all power to them. Travis Kelce wants to date Taylor Swift, all power to him. He's a grown man. He can date whoever he wants to. And Taylor Swift's a grown woman. She can date whoever she wants. So I personally don't care. Now, I've heard smart-ass me wants to say, hey, if you're looking for a fun short-term relationship, then Taylor Swift's a good pick. But I don't see her as a long-term relationship. I mean, that's just me personally. I know that's off subject with football, but I'm just putting that out there. Might as well. But yeah, hey. So yeah, obviously, but as far as the game goes, like Kansas City's clearly the better team. Chicago Bears are terrible. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. And for Kansas City, after a rough first 2 weeks, even a rough win against Jacksonville, hey, they got the momentum win they needed against Chicago. Maybe they'll build their confidence up and they'll start getting to that form we expected. Maybe this could be the point where Kansas City takes off and starts winning high scoring games going forward as we expect them to. Maybe it just took a few weeks to get it rolling. Maybe this game against Chicago could have been the perfect game, the perfect confidence builder for them to just keep winning, keep winning, keep winning. But time will tell. But for Kansas City, hey, you're defending Super Bowl champs. You're playing against a horrible team in the Chicago Bears. You took care of business. Good for you guys. And for the Bears, you know what? I'm really starting to believe that the Chicago Bears are the team where quarterbacks go to die. I really am. Because it's like, okay, yes. Because I know, Justin Fields, now he needs some work too. He does. But at the same time, what has this Bears team done for him? Got no help on his offensive line. The coaching sucks. So I can't fully 100% blame it on Fields, but not that he's innocent and that's all the coaching's fault. No, it's still partially Fields' fault too. But I feel like it's a mix of Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears organization that are at fault for this. I feel it's a combo of both. And let's face it, the Chicago Bears are really the team where quarterbacks go to die because you look at history. A lot of these busts that have come over like the past 25, 30 years started in Chicago. Cade McNown, Rex Grossman, you go then Mitchell Trubisky, and now Justin Fields. So far, it's looking like he's going to be in that similar type of category. Now, granted, guys like Cade McNown and Rex Grossman were trash. But now as the years go along, you see a common denominator. All these QBs that start with the Bears, they don't go anywhere. They end up being a bust. So at some point, got to point to the Chicago Bears as the common denominator, as they don't know how to develop quarterbacks. They don't know how to get the QB position right. They don't. Last time they had any stability at quarterback was the Jim McMahon days. But he had a lot of injury problems too. That's what prevented him from being a franchise quarterback. Maybe there's a possibility if he could have stayed healthy better, the Bears could have had 2 Super Bowls. But the point is, like, it's been since the 80s since you could even say they had a good quarterback, really. And if you want to say the last time they had a franchise quarterback, that was before there was even a Super Bowl. That was the NFL AFL days with Sid Luckman. And that goes to show you how bad the Bears have been at quarterbacks. So at some point, I got to look at them as the common denominator, why these QBs don't work out at some point. And now they're ruining Justin Fields' career too. I said they would do it during the offseason. They've done it. So congratulations, Chicago Bears. Firing your defensive coordinator did nothing, as we all expected. Now I see why Slug Daddy TV, who's an avid Bears fan, is always ranting and moaning in his videos and is extremely cynical about the Bears. And quite frankly, I don't blame him. But moving right along, Cowboys, Cardinals. I'm going to savior this one, folks. I'm going to savior this one. Sure, it's only 1 week. It goes by a weekly basis. 1 week we could be laughing at our rival. Next week we could get our comeuppance. That's always a possibility. But considering granted, I do still feel like we're the better team than the Cowboys at the end of the day. But I'm still going to try not to laugh too much. But might as well do it while I can. But let's going to keep it brief. Cowboys, this is why I cannot buy into the notion that this is your year. This is different than the rest. Number one, your fans say that every year. And at the end of the day, it doesn't change. See, that's one of the reasons I'm so, what's the word I'm looking? Reason I just love the laugh of the Cowboys choking so much is because their fans always hype them up every year. Like, this is our year. This is our year. We're going to do it this year. This is different from the rest of the years. Oh, see that? We won by blowout. This is our year. We hear this every single year from their fans. They'll start off the season, win a game by blowout against a bad team, look good, and they act like the fans act like, oh, this is going to be their year. That's why it's hard to give them credit when they do something good because of their obnoxious fan base. A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them, especially the blind fanboys that just want to hype them up. That's why it's hard to get behind them. I mean, now look, obviously, for some Cowboys fans, I see it on social media. They've been humble about this loss right here. I got nothing to say to y'all. Look, and I'm not talking all Cowboys fans either. I just don't like the fanboys that all they do is type about the past and how great they were in the past without realizing, hey guys, it's been nearly 30 years since you last won a Super Bowl. You want to be the Montreal Canadiens of the NFL and continue to live off a past reputation without doing anything in the present? Or do you want to start winning more championships at some point? So like, it's like that's annoying. And then it's our year every year. I mean, I don't necessarily hate anyone for who they want to cheer for. I just don't like the obnoxious blind fanboy attitude. It's just real arrogant to me. So it's easy to it's easy to laugh at them. It's when they get their comeuppance just to say, yep, see that? That's what you get for mouthing off. But as far as the game goes, look, you had Kaiser White had a good game, and that Cowboys defense without Trayvon Diggs did not look good at all against Joshua Dobbs-led Cardinals. I mean, for whatever reason, the Cardinals had the Cowboys number for whatever reason, and it worked out in their favor this time. So, hey, I mean, hey, any given Sunday, the Cardinals got the upset here. Now, do I think the Cowboys could still make the playoffs? Of course, I do. To be fair, I still think the Cowboys are a good team that can at least make the playoffs. And we know the Cowboys do match up well against us head to head. So that's still going to be a tough game. Because, like, over the past decade, either we split or they sweep us. So they've had our number head to head over the past decade because there's been a few sweeps in their favor and the rest have been splits. So I'm not going to completely shit all over them because I still think they can be a good regular season team, and there's a chance they might beat us at least once based off recent history. So I'm not going to say too much about them, except this week was not your week. You're not in first place. Your main rival, the Eagles, are in first place. Y'all better come back next week and do better. I mean, that's all I can really say to you on a final note for that. But hey, you know what? Good for the Cardinals. Let's move on. For the Steelers and Raiders, let's pretty much give credit to the Steelers defense. TJ Watt is the MVP of that defense. He's clearly one of the top players. He's now what his brother was a decade ago. He's what his older big brother JJ was a decade ago to the Houston Texans. That's what TJ is to the Steelers now. That's how significant he is to the Steelers defense. He's what big brother was in his prime for the Houston Texans. And for Jimmy G, yeah, not looking too good over there at the Raiders, or you don't have that same talent with the Niners. Yeah, kind of had a feeling. This is why I wasn't too high on Jimmy G with the Niners. I felt like it was the talent around him, and so far I'm being proven correct. And then the Rams and Bengals. Okay, Bengals got the win. Good for them. Rams. Matthew Pafford threw a couple picks. Sure, he stat padded his yards in garbage time, but this is the second week in a row the Rams scored to make it closer in garbage time, to make it look like a better game by them than it really was. So I still think the Rams have come crashing back down after week one. And I got to wonder, is Cooper Kupp really that important to the team? I mean, is this team really that bad without Cooper Kupp? I think so. But yeah, that's what I mainly got to say for the other games. Now I'm going to take a short break, just take a few minutes. Then I'm going to come back and recap the Eagles-Bucks game. All right, and now I'm back, folks. Now, here comes the main event, so to say, of the stream. Now we're going to talk some Eagles football. Let's get into it. So the Philadelphia Eagles went on the road, defeated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 25-11. Or should I say, the Tampa Bay Eagles, because we traveled well, defeated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 30 or 25-11 at Raymond James Stadium on Monday night. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We did it. So it was a nice team victory, though. Now, the score doesn't reflect it. The score reflects a more competitive game than it really was. But if we look at the game, I mean, it was a good performance, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And even offense, minus the 2 picks, it was a pretty good game. If you take away those 2 picks, especially that second pick that would happen in the red zone, which led to us getting a safety off of it, if that's a touchdown instead, then the score is a lot more lopsided in our favor right there. Because instead of getting 2 on that sequence from the play that followed the pick, we get 6, maybe even 7, get 7 pending the extra point, which we probably would have. Yeah, but yeah, we would have gotten 7 instead of 2. So that would have made the score more lopsided in our favor. So yeah, the final score doesn't reflect how good this performance was. It really wasn't a good performance by him. And you got DeAndre Swift, part of the Swift-Kelsey duo that I care for. DeAndre Swift and offense and center Jason Kelsey. But yes, that's right, folks. DeAndre Swift had a nice performance last night as well. And he was getting the lead carries right there. So the Eagles learned from week 1 and decided to give him the lead carries. You got A.J. Brown had a pretty solid game last night. He started to bounce back from that slump for a little bit, but he did drop that pass that could have been a touchdown, though, in the end zone. So there was one drop there, but pretty solid performance right there. We got a couple picks on Baker as well. We got him to revert back to his old self. Like I said in the preview, I talked about it in the preview. If you guys saw my preview, I did last week on Friday. I dropped it. I talked about it. I said that sure, the Bucs have done pretty good through 2 weeks, but remember, they were playing the Vikings and the Bears. What happens when Baker has to step up in competition against the Eagles? What's he going to do? I put that question out there. And then what happened during the game? What happened? The Eagles went out there and took care of business. Baker came crashing back down. You realize that he's an average quarterback, play good at times, but when it matters most, you can't rely on him to deliver. And this was what mattered here. It mattered in a primetime game, Eagles versus Bucs. Baker couldn't deliver for him. Eagles took care of that, picked them twice. Just an excellent performance right there on the defense. We kept them contained the whole game. We got that sack right off the interception to make up for it. And then offense, look, you take away those 2 picks from Jalen Hurts. Pretty solid performance right there. And you did have that deep touchdown pass, though, to Zacchaeus, which was a nice touchdown right there. So Jalen Hurts showing he could still throw on the deep ball right there. You saw it throughout the game. Now, the picks are there is a little bit of concern, though, because there's through 3 games, you got 3 TDs, 3 picks. And there was one play that would concern me a little bit. Remember with the goal line when he was back up the pass, he tripped, then he got right back up, and he took a hit. When I saw that at first, I'm like, just stay down, live for another play, because I got worried he was going to get sandwiched when he got back up, maybe fumble or get hurt. Now, fortunately, it didn't happen, but even then when he fell, I'm just like, stay down, live for another play. But that was the only thing that really concerned me. Now, with Jalen Hurts, though, I mean, he's taken a lot more risks this year. Like, he's just throwing the ball out there, just throwing it into risky situations, into coverage, and he's getting picked more. Like, you could say he's even making a few Josh Allen type plays at times. That's the only thing about Jalen Hurts' game that has me a little bit concerned. Now, granted, we're still winning games, though. So we're still winning games, so I'm not that upset. But I do need to at least address that and say, look, that's the one thing so far that he's got to work on. I mean, his accuracy last year was off the charts. He didn't get a whole lot of those last year, but so far that's 3 picks through 3 weeks. So getting a little bit concerned that he's getting a little risky. He's getting a little reckless with the football and he's making careless mistakes. That's the one thing I'm a little bit worried about. So Jalen Hurts, man, he's got to be a little more careful with that right there. But other than that, it was a good game. I mean, you had a few nice runs, a few nice throws. A.J. Brown got a few nice receptions out of it. And you also had the QB push, still works great. We got in there and we did what we had to do. And credit to Jake Elliott as well. He was making his field goals, doing what he needed to. In all around, just a pretty solid performance right there against the Bucs. Right there. I mean, this was a primetime game. We needed this win right here to build confidence. And we had 2 ugly wins, but that didn't happen this week, though. And that was a nice closing drive, too. You had Jalen Hurts was hitting his stride on that final drive. And all we did was just march down the field, shoot time off the clock, didn't let Tampa Bay get the ball back, and we closed it out. Now, if there would have been more time in that game, we possibly could have scored on that drive, too. But we were in run the clock out mode, so we didn't need to score. We just needed to keep the ball moving, to keep them off their offense off the field, and that's what we did. But man, I gotta say, yeah, but I was impressed with this game right there. I was also happy to see that the Eagles fans traveled well to Raymond James Stadium. That was fun right there, seeing all those Eagles fans out there enjoying themselves out in Tampa. But good for them. I mean, for Hurts, he did have 277 yards and a touchdown. You take away those 2 picks, pretty solid game. And DeAndre Swift, this time you're talking 16 carries, 130 yards. Not as many yards as last week, but hey, that's still nice. There, A.J. Brown led the way, 9 receptions, 131 yards. Nice bounce back performance. Like I said, Zach Juris, that nice touchdown right there. That shows he could possibly be a deep ball option right there. And you had pretty sudden Reed Blankenship came through with a pick right there. You got that pick on Baker. It's okay. So I liked what I saw from him in this one right there. There have been concerns about him, but hey, last year he was a rookie. This is his second year. Hopefully starting to pick up now on it. Wait. And we did give up a touchdown to Mike Evans, and wait a minute. Yeah, we did get that right there, but yeah, so far though, it was a pretty good game right there. But that's what you need to do right there. Beat this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. And I know now that we won, some of the haters are going to come out and push the goalpost back frequently and be like, oh, you beat Baker. You beat Baker. You beat the Bucs. They were overrated 2-0. But yet, these are the same people, mind you, that before the game were trying to hype up the Bucs and be like, oh, Bucs are looking pretty solid. Baker looks like he's returning to star form. Uh-oh, you guys might be in trouble. Yeah, but now all of a sudden they're going to be the same ones saying that we beat a bad team. So you know what? Don't even care what they say. Bottom line is we're 3-0. We're going against Washington. Momentum's in our favor this time around. Washington's off getting slapped back to reality by Buffalo. And we're fresh off a nice win in prime time on the road. Now bring it back home. Let's get this W against Washington. Take care of business. Teach Sam Howell what it's really like in the NFL level. Because for Sam Howell, he struggled against Buffalo. Now he's going to go against the Eagles, against Jalen Carter, who was getting some pressure on getting to the QB last night. Still got Darius Slay, Reed Blankenship, proving James Bradbury, who's back. It's going to be a tough one. But I'm going to actually do a preview of the Commanders game on Friday, same time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys, so I'm going to talk more about that there. But for the Eagles, hey, this is nice right here. Like what I saw right here. And I saw the Eagles, they learned, feed DeAndre Swift the ball at running back, and that's exactly what they did. They gave DeAndre Swift the rock, let him run with it, and he did what he needed to do. So that was nice right there. And all around, just a nice win right there. I'm proud of this team right here. I mean, Jalen Hurts, he still hits, he still got to A.J. Brown when needed to. So the beef between them, that was blown out of proportion. You can forget about that. We don't got to hear any more about how A.J. and Jalen aren't on the same page. Jalen was looking his way. AJ was making some catches. Sure, he had that one drop, but guess what? They're on the same page, so all that talk don't matter no more. I don't want to hear about how they not on the same page anymore. It's funny. I had one guy at work who's a Cardinals fan. He was thinking that there was legit shot at an upset from Tampa. Can't wait to see him next time. I'm going to be able to see what he says then. But on a serious note, oh yeah, that was for all the doubts going into this game by some. Our secondary is beaten up. Even some people were worried about the secondary, saying that Baker. I even saw one thing on, what was it, IG? It was the post from the Eagles showing the official injury report. Someone saying, "Oh, great, now Baker's going to put up Peyton Manning numbers in 2013 against us when we played the Broncos a decade ago when they scored over 50." Oh, really now, huh? Is that so? Is it? Yeah, over 50, huh? Baker playing like Peyton Manning. Yeah, I don't think so, buddy. I don't think so. But yeah, on a serious note, though, yeah, we got the win. Who cares what any doubters have to say? It's a nice team win. And hey, like I said, so we keep doing what we got to do. We can get our players on the defense back and healthy, get Nakobe Dean's back, James Bradbury back at 100%. Oh, we're going to be trouble. Yes, sir. But hey, I'm proud of this right there. Nice win right there. Fly, Eagles, fly. Quick toast to 3-0. A little bit of water. Oh, yeah. So I'm happy with that right there. So I ended on this note. Great win by the Eagles right there. I want to stay on a final note. I did want to talk briefly acknowledge college football. In the college football world, you did have Colorado came crashing back down with an ugly loss right there. That was a noteworthy game. Georgia got another win right there. Kansas is doing pretty good, on the lookout for them. But hey, so there's a little bit of interest going on in the college football world. Caleb Williams, he's the prospect to watch at USC. Quarterback, and Marvin Harrison Jr., Ohio State. Another interesting one, Shador Sanders. We'll see if Colorado redeems itself. So I just wanted to quickly acknowledge the college football stuff real quickly. And I'll end it off on this one with Fly, Eagles, fly. Great win right there. And everyone that tuned in, thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day or night. Until next time, it's Nicky Steez saying peace and signing off.